So let's import an NPC like we did with any other model. Import. Okay. Let's go to captain and let's import our captain. And our captain is there. Let's move him here. And we are going to animate together this to give some logic to this captain. Again, these models are from Quaternius, so kudos to him. Very nice captain. He's missing an arm and a leg. It's okay. It's good for its purpose. We have imported this model. What can we do with it? First of all, let's give some physical properties to it. The captain should be able to move, and so we will make him kinematic, and of course not a box. Let's choose a capsule, which is by my opinion the best shape for NPCs. Okay, let's move like that for a while, and let's see now. We can also add a variable for this character. So let's go to the variables tab like we did before, and let's add a variable, a number variable, and let's call this health because our captain also want to have health. Let's make this 100 as well. Okay. So of course this is just a model. We need to import animations for the captain also. The captain also has its own armature and its own rig with the bones. Okay, so it's exactly the same method we did, the same thing we did with our main character. And let's go to animation mode since we deal with animations. And let's right click and import animations. And now we are going to import the captain's animations. Death, for example. Okay, our captain is dead. Let's import animations. Idle, I will just add a few of them. So idle, we want to play forever. So to play in loop, excuse me. So we enable the loop, and then we'll understand why in a few. So let's add also the run, and we want to play in loop also. And let's import the slash so the captain can attack, and let's enable the loop also. And let's import I have imported everything that I need, so we don't need to import anything else. Okay, so these are the animations. And first of all, before doing anything else, we want to create a logic that we will make our character, the captain, the pirate, to track the player. So to always face the player, because he has his eyes on the player. Okay. So how we can do this? We can go to animation mode. We can go to the captain and create an animation. Okay, create an animation. And let's rename this animation to be easier to find it. And this animation should be called anything you like, but I will call it tracking player. Okay, let's track the player. How we can track the player now? First of all, let's import our captain to the timeline like we did before. Okay, but for this example, let me save it real quick. For this example, we are going to use a local variable. If you remember, I told you that we will check this in a little bit, so we will check this now. And local variable, we need to give a name, something like angle, for example. Okay, it doesn't matter, the name doesn't matter. But the difference is that this local variable will play. We can call it only inside this animation. We cannot call it outside this animation. And so you might ask why you didn't create a global variable, because we don't need. This is easier to call. We only need it in here. So this is very convenient instead of calling it from a global variable. And what we are going to type here, so this by default is 0. is another function that's called get. So you see all these get functions. Angle, because we want to find the angle between two objects in the y-axis. So get angle to object y. This is what we want. And to make this function work, we need to find the angle between two objects. Okay, so the first object is $sign again, captain. Okay, and we type comma and $sign, and now is the second object that we want to track, so main character, and we hit comma and 360, which is the limit of how our the limit of the degrees that our character can target. But for now, let's say that you need to type 360. Okay, so this is now this angle, this variable now contains this information, contains the difference in the angle between this object and this object, and we want to take our character, our captain, excuse me, and add the rotation Y keyframe. Okay, and we want to turn this character from what it is looking now to look the player. So we just here we are going to delete this. We are going to delete this origin. Okay, and we just type angle. So let me. Okay, so yes, this is just a small bug. So here, yes, angle. Okay, so you see now our local variable is here. Okay, so angle is with yellow colors, just to know that this is a local variable, and we hit enter. And we want this animation to play in loop. Okay, we don't need second keyframe. And we go to triggers tab, and we want this animation to play as soon as our character is enabled. If our character is not enabled, we don't want this animation, this tracking to happen. We want all to happen when this character is enabled. So we go to object enabled continue, and we add our captain. Okay, let's save. And now if we try to play the game, you will see that our character is facing, our captain is facing the character everywhere. Okay, so he's ready to fight. So the second thing that we need to do now is to create another animation to move this captain towards the player. Okay, so let's create another animation. Let's right click in the captain, create animation, and let's rename this to something like to moving towards player. Okay, and again we are going to create the same variable. Let's call this variable angle again. Again we are going to use the same function, get angle to the character Y, and again we are going to do this to add the two objects, captain and main character, comma 360. Okay, let me save this real quick, and we add our captain again, and now we want to move this character in X axis and Z axis, so we can find the player. Okay, so we are going to import position X and position Z, and let's go around here 0.5, and now we are going to add origin. Okay, plus, and now it's a little bit of maths and trigonometry, and we will add this. Let's open this. Now we will add this cosine. Okay, it's a little bit of trigonometry, and we are going to add the angle. Yeah, it's this little bug that we need to. Let me do it again. this angle. Okay, now our variable is here, angle, and we want to multiply this with P and divide it by 180. And like this, we have converted our angle from degrees to radians. Okay, it's just trigonometry. And now we need to multiply this by the speed of our character. Like right now, our character doesn't have any speed, but we could create a variable with speed, but we can just multiply this by a number that we believe it's right speed, walking speed, I mean. Let's type 0.1.2. Okay, just a number that we want the character to walk, the speed, the walking speed. And we do the same, almost the same for the position Z. So let's type origin and subtract this time sine instead of cosine, and we add the angle again, and we convert this to radians. So P 100 and multiply this again with the captain's speed, the walking speed. So let's make 0.2. Okay, and we loop this. It's just trigonometry to locate this position compared to the angle of the captain. And just for demonstration purposes now, I'm going to set this on launch scene. So this animation will play when we start the game. Let me save and let's see what will happen now. So now the character is coming towards me. If I move here, it's coming towards me. And if you want to make a game that the captain is trying to push Annie out of the island, then we have succeeded. You see it's coming here and the captain is trying to push me out of his island. Of course, this is not what we want. We want a little bit a more advanced NPC. So like we did with the door before, we are going to create a state machine. This time the state machine will be just a little bit more advanced, not a lot, just a little bit. So let's name this captain state machine and we double click. Okay, so like we did with the door before, let's try to think what are the states that our captain should have. This is the initial state. Let's make it blue, and the initial state, let's say that at the start of the game our captain should be on idle state, should be idle. Okay, what else can our captain do? It can follow the player, so let's type following. Okay, names doesn't matter. And what else our captain can do? It can attack the player. Okay, attack. And what else our character can do? It can die. So let's death. And move it like here. And maybe let's add some colors and like that and like that. Okay. Like we did exactly like we did with the door. Let's connect this here by clicking and dragging. So from idle, our character should be able to follow the character. And when it's close enough, should be attack the player. And if you click around here in the middle and drag, we create a small point just to make things easier. And when the captain attacks, it should be able to go back to following the player. And let's make it like that. And it should be able to go back to idle state. And now here comes the end state. So it doesn't matter at what state our captain will be. If the rules that the captain dies are valid, the captain should die. It doesn't matter in which state we are. If the captain's health is 0, the captain should die. So from any state, we connect to the death. Okay, because this we want to start from any state, and this is the easier to set also. So let's set the rules here. as I said before, if the character's health is 0, the character should be in death state. So let's go to comparison. We compare comparison started, and right now we will choose less or equal. Okay, so let's insert our variable here. So $sign again. We are referring to the captain, and we are referring to the captain's health. So let's find health and put it in here. Okay, and we want the captain to die when his health is equal or below 0. So let's make this 0. Okay, and this is done. Okay, we have successfully created this connection. Let me save really quick, and now we are going to add 2 colliders to the captain to help us continue with the logic. Let's add a collider from this area, and let's move this collider a little bit up. We want to be ghost because we want our character to be able to pass through, but we want to have collision events from it. So let's make this a cylinder, and we can make this a little bit bigger like this. And now we can make this cylinder a little bigger, but not too big, but just what we think that is the range that our captain could attack. So about the range of his sword. Okay, so make it like this, and we should rename this into near. Okay, because this is the collider that when our player is near, the captain can attack. And let's duplicate this. So duplicate. Okay, this is the near, and we are going to rename this far. And let's make this far a little bit bigger, something like that. Okay, because this is the area that our captain should follow the player, the character. Okay, this is the area that the captain can follow the player. So that's why we rename this far. Let's open the captain state machine again, and now we will set this logic. Okay, now it will make more sense that we have this here. So our captain is on idle state. He is on idle. When do we want to start following the player? We want to start following the player when our character steps inside this far collider, this far range. So let's click here and let's define these rules. So when we have a collision event started between our main character and this far collider. So let's go and let's set far. Okay, so now our character is inside this far collider, and we need to define the rules that the captain will start attacking. So when we want our captain to start attacking, when the character is colliding with this near. Okay, so to jump from the falling to attack, we click here to define these rules, and again a collision started event between our main character and this time near. Okay, so the captain is on idle, the character steps in this far collider, the game jumps to falling, the character gets close enough, and the game jumps to attack. So now we are on the attack state. And when do we want our captain to stop attacking the player? When our character is outside of this near collider. So we click on here and go collision, and this time we will choose collision ended between our main character and our near collider. Okay, and just to cover all these options that something might happen, etc., let's duplicate this, and let's also cover the possibility of there is no collision. Okay, it's just a good practice. And we are going to do the same for now. Our captain is following the player, but we want to stop following the player. So and the captain goes back to idle state. So when this is going to happen, when our character is outside this far area. So let's go here and let's add a collision ended event between our main character and this far area. Okay, and duplicate again, and collision, no collision, just to cover all the possibilities. Okay, so right now, let me save this. This is the end of this state machine. We have our logic ready. Of course, nothing works yet because we didn't make the connection with the animations. Okay, let me close this for a second. So if we wanted to make this connection with the animations like we did with the door, we would normally go inside each animation individually and we set the rules here. Okay, but this can cause a huge mess, especially if you're working with big animations or complicated logic. So that's why we have created this tool that called GameFlow.